On Rescue 911, a store owner is brutally shot by masked gunmen.
911, what is the emergency?
I've been shot. I've been shot about 6 times.
His only link to survival is the emergency operators.
So try to take it real easy, okay?
I'm not gonna make it.
But when paramedics are forced to wait for police, he must hang on and fight for his own life.
I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Tell my wife that I love her.
On the next Rescue 911.
Bill Heasley owned a small bait and tackle shop on the outskirts of Fresno, California. 6 days a week, he ran the register and waited on customers himself until the night of January 17th, 1989.
It appears that Bill was closing up. He was removing guns from the display counter and putting them in a gun case, which in turn he takes to the safe and locks them up in the safe. We located witnesses that observed 3 individuals pulling up in a pickup. At least 2 individuals we know went into the store, and obviously they were not going to leave a witness behind.
You did.
A call came into dispatcher Diane Vargas at 4:58 p.m.
911, what is the emergency?
I've been shot. This is Bill's Bait and Tackle. My name's Bill Heasley. I'm at 40.
Okay, sir, I know where you are, sir. Now, you've been shot by a robber or what?
Multiple times.
Now, Bill, where are you hit?
In the lower, in the stomach and in the legs, quickly.
I typed it into a computer-aided dispatch system, automatically getting officers on the way as my coworker punched into emergency medical teams, and they started to respond.
The fire department was immediately dispatched. EMT Steve Braun and paramedic Laurie Stevens were already in the field.
We heard the call come down. It was just to the east of us, less than a mile away. And I knew the next nearest ambulance was some distance away. And we immediately responded.
Okay, now, sir, we're going to get an ambulance and paramedics out there. We are sending them as I'm talking to you. I need to know if you know of the suspects.
No, they were masked. Hurry.
Okay, how many of them were there?
I don't know, 2, I think.
Okay, now we're going to get officers there right away.
An unknown white male adult came to a residence, asked her to call.
Sergeant Jeff Johnson happened to be nearby when the call was dispatched.
I could hear that the units that were supposedly responding were just too far away. They're on the opposite side of the metropolitan area. I knew I was only less than 1.5 miles, 2 miles from there. And so I told her I would go, and I picked up some speed.
Now, I'm going to sit on the phone with you. You don't have to talk if you don't feel like it, okay? We'll try to take it real easy, okay?
I'm not going to make it.
Yes, you are, sir. You are going to make
I've been
it.
shot about 6 times.
Okay.
1 badly. I think my kidney's bleeding.
This is the FSO. I've got a man who's been shot.
EMS dispatcher Dan Lynch took over Bill's call.
What is your name?
Bill Heasley.
Okay, Bill. Where is your gunshot wound at?
In the stomach.
In the stomach?
Lower right side, about 5 or 6 times the legs.
Okay, are you laying
You could
down right
hear
now?
the pain. You could hear the fright in his voice of what just occurred to this man.
I just want you to rest. Try to slow your breathing down. I'll stay on the phone with you, all right?
After hers.
Okay, we're on our way. Are you laying down?
Yes.
Okay, flat on your back.
No, on the side.
I want you to lay flat on your back.
Oh.
It'll help with the blood, okay? Put your legs up in the air. Put something under your legs.
The left leg, I can hardly move. That's what is shot.
Okay, put something under your legs.
I can't.
Okay, we're on our way, so...
It's harder for me to believe on my back.
Okay, then you get comfortable on your side.
And as the call gradually progressed, you could hear his breathing grow more rapid and deeper, which is a sign of shock. This guy was on his way out.
The paramedics were the first to arrive, but they are not allowed to enter violent crime scenes without police protection.
I can't do Bill any good if I'm shot. I can't do him any good if I'm dead. We just pulled back across the street. If we had to get out of there quickly, we could.
They could only wait, helplessly, until police arrived.
I'm starting to feel cold.
Okay. Slow your breathing down a little bit.
I can't. Listen.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm going to make it.
Yes, you will.
Okay, all right.
Go ahead.
In case.
All right.
Tell my wife that I love her. Tell my boys I love them too.
All right.
And that'd be good.
It was very disheartening to know that we had a unit that was sitting outside and we couldn't do anything to help this man right now.
When we continue.
Call my wife. Tell her to get the help.
On the next groundbreaking episode of Dr. G, Medical Examiner.
2 police officers were patrolling in this area, and they hear some gunshots. They found this gentleman nude with a lot of blood on him.
A chilling scene leaves investigators hunting for explanations.
I'm sure he was panicked. That would be a very scary way to die.
But the trouble is, there's no bullet, and no bullet wound to be found. Dr. G, Medical Examiner. Friday night at 9 on Discovery Health Channel.
Bill Heasley was still lying on the floor with multiple gunshot wounds inflicted by armed robbers. The 911 dispatcher was his only link to help, as paramedics were forced to wait just outside the store until the police could arrive and secure the scene.
Okay, Bill, just take it easy. Keep your breathing down a little bit.
Also, call my wife. Tell her to get the help.
You in here? Yeah. It looked like it had been a war inside that one small area, about 20 square feet. It didn't take but a few seconds for me to check a store and make sure nobody was there lurking in the shadow, which would endanger Bill or me. And then my attention's drawn to Bill. And that's when the shock really hit, when I saw his condition. My first thought was, call the homicide team. Even though he was still breathing and everything else, that was one of the first things I did after the paramedics had came into the room. Let's go.
He was pale as a ghost. He felt like an old rag. I mean, he was just very, very cold and clammy. I started doing his vital signs. They were poor for him. His pressure was low, his pulse was up, his respirations were up.
Keep talking to me, Bill.
We finished checking for all the bullet wounds, so we knew what kind of time we were working against, what was bleeding. We got him in the mask pants and we lifted him out of there, just to get him out of there. We didn't even spend time to pump him up inside the scene. We just pulled him out to where we had room to work on him. Got him loaded and we got him in the unit.
They headed to Valley Medical Center, where the trauma team was notified to prepare for Bill's arrival.
Stat trauma. Valley Medical Center, this is A1057. We have an ETA 10 to 12 minutes with a 39-year-old male victim of multiple gunshots. The last count we had was close to 7 to 9, I believe.
Can I have the arm?
He just knew he was going to die. He knew he wasn't going to make it. Just tell my wife I love her, please. You've got to tell my wife I love her. And I said, okay, Bill, I promise. What's the number? So he gave me the number, and I repeated the number. He says, yes. I said, Bill, I'll tell her, I promise. He says, okay. And I think a little bit of calmness came over him.
The ambulance arrived at the emergency room within 10 minutes. On duty that night was Dr. Gene Carlson.
Anyone with that many holes in him is in dire straits. In Bill's case, we know that when the paramedics got to him, he already was in significant shock, that he had lost a fair amount of blood, probably a quarter of his blood supply. So we know from that by the time he gets to us, he may have lost a lot more than that.
Apparent entrance wound here in the right upper quadrant.
Let's roll him over this way. There were multiple wounds on the legs and one major wound in the upper abdomen that we were most concerned about. We knew from the location of that wound that some large vascular structures like the liver, kidney, and possibly other things could well have been hit.
Bill Heasley was hit by at least 7 bullets. As he was rushed into surgery, paramedic Laurie Stevens went to keep her promise.
That phone call was awful. I go, Bill wants me to tell you that he loves you, and tell the kids that he loves them too.
I've relived many, many times in my mind what it may have been like for him. To me, when he said in the tape that he loved me, means more to me than anything he's ever given to me.
Doctors worked on Bill for 3 hours to try to save his life. With 5 bullets still inside him, Bill has survived.
I'm not a person that's been afraid to die. What concerned me more than anything was, of course, that I would not be with my wife or my children. And that's really the only thing that I was thinking about at the end, that I would miss them if I did die.
He's my world. I love Bill very much. He's made my life very happy. It scares me to think that I may not have married him. I came close to not marrying him.
I think what kept him alive was his will to live. I really love my dad a whole lot. I'm really glad he's around.
The suspects involved in the shooting incident were arrested within a week and were subsequently convicted and sent to prison. Next.
She said she had a real bad headache and that she was sleepy, and this was unusual because she always feels pretty good.
Mama, wake up. Mom, please wake up, please.
Next, step inside the command center where the calls for help are answered and meet the real-life heroes who save lives. Stay tuned for another episode of Rescue 911. Next on Discovery Health Channel. Real life, medicine, miracles.